So when we really think, when we always think, I have the potential to be Buddha, I have the Buddha's nature to be Buddha, then we always feel happy about having, possessed the Buddha nature. When you feel upset, when you feel I am very poor, poorest person in Singapore, think about the Buddha nature that we have the most important or valuable object, which is Buddhahood. Sorry, Buddha's nature. Simple words, the potential, you know, to be Buddha. Not easy. It doesn't mean it is, for me, it is impossible to be Buddha. Everybody can be Buddha because everybody has the potential to be Buddha. Is equal for all, sentient beings, whether human beings or other living creatures. Not easy, but it's very much possible. Why it is not easy to be Buddha? There's a reason to say that. Achieving Buddhahood, becoming Buddha, is not coming through causeless, no cause, no condition. It is not just going to achieve, not going to be Buddha through simple, chanting and prayers, recitations, being a good person, have a good heart. Those are very, very important. Those are not the actual cause to achieve Buddhahood. It is difficult because the cause to achieve Buddhahood are the two practices, bodhicitta and the wisdom. Then why it is so difficult for us to practice bodhicitta? Because bodhicitta, the primary cause of bodhicitta is great and pure compassion. It is not easy to practice great and pure compassion because we have one enemy, which is anger. We cannot control anger, therefore we cannot practice great compassion. Therefore, it is so difficult to accomplish bodhicitta. Therefore, it is not easy to achieve Buddhahood. It is not easy, to be Buddha in the future, but it is still, very much possible. There's a lot of, reason. Second, also, it is not easy to achieve Buddhahood because within the two primary cause, one is the bodhicitta, second is the wisdom. It is not easy to have the particular wisdom which is realize emptiness because we have another, powerful, very strong enemy, which is ignorance. Due to ignorance, our mind always be blind. Whatever we see, those are not there. Whatever things we cannot see, we cannot perceive, those are there. Due to ignorance, is totally our mind become blind. blind, therefore we cannot see the actual truth. Therefore, it is not easy to possess the particular wisdom. But still, it is very much possible to be Buddha, achieving Buddhahood. The second, the prayer we always do to benefit all sentient beings, which is very good. We are very ordinary, simple person. We are very, very simple person. Physically, economically, we are very simple person. But we have such a great heart, which is always think benefit all sentient beings. The second, also not easy to benefit all sentient beings, because our ability, our energy, our resources are very, very limited, very limits. Also our way of thinking also, for the short term, very kind of limits. We cannot really benefit all sentient beings at this moment. But still, we, must think, I wish to be Buddha because I want to benefit all sentient beings, because without exception, all sentient beings, all human beings are like my dearest mother, my dearest father, my dearest friend. When you really able to accept all sentient beings, all human beings, all your neighbors are your dearest mother, then you always have a love and compassion towards them. Then gradually, slowly, the love and compassion you can transform as a more pure. Then you can extend the same compassion and love towards sentient being. Then you have a great compassion. Then bodhicitta is next to it. When you have a bodhicitta, then we can have the wisdom which realizes emptiness. When we have these two primary, the important practice, then Buddhahood is next to them. Therefore, first we think, I wish to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, I want to achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, this morning I'm here to learn, to study how to practice bodhicitta, how to realize emptiness. Then based on these two practices, which is the wisdom, which is realize emptiness, then the bodhicitta, and on top of them, then we need to practice the 5 perfections, because the wisdom you already is a foundation, the 5 perfections. So when so we've been studying the engage in the Bodhisattva Way of Life, the guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life. The next chapter, there are 4 chapters: patience, joy, effort or enthusiasm, then concentration, then the wisdom. Next, there are the 5 chapters which is going to explain, going to teach us how to practice patience, how to practice enthusiasm or joy effort, how to practice meditation, how to practice wisdom, right? The four uh, perfections. So what about the another true perfections of ethical discipline, perfection of generosity? So three, perfection of ethical discipline. When you look at the chapter, you cannot mention particularly, the perfections of ethical discipline, the perfection of generosity, right? There's no particular chapter. But when you open the second chapter, is mentioned purification, accumulating merit, offering all the all the things to the Buddhas, to all sentient beings, to in a particular beings. This means this chapter already explained the practice of generosity, the perfection of generosity. When you think about, when you remember practicing generosity, we are not always, only be generous for, making offering to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We must be very generous to offer things to sentient being, particularly the being who need it, the needy people. Because Shantideva said, you're going to accumulate the same amount of merit offering to the Buddhas, offering to the sentient being. Then why you discriminate between Buddhas and sentient beings? Right? Therefore, second chapter already explained the generosity. Then the next chapter about enthusiasm and alertness. This already teach us how to be ethical person. Particularly the chapter uh, uh, alertness very much explain us, teach us. We always need to guide our mind. Without guarding mind, rest of the practice, without, make sure you are saying, without guarding the mind, all other practice not useful. So when we able to guide, when we able to watch all the time to our mind, then you become very pure person. Your ethical discipline become very pure. You become very moral person. Therefore, uh, generosity, ethical discipline already explained in the previous chapter. So what is the link, what is the connection, bodhicitta and wisdom and Buddha? How the five, like ethical, six profession come in between? Why is it is not just enough just practice bodhicitta and wisdom? Why we cannot achieve Buddhahood? So why we need to practice the six perfection in between? Here we need to know the point, the reason why we need to practice the six perfection in between. If you possess great compassion, bodhicitta, you become so compassionate person for your all sentient beings, like your dear mother, your dearest friend. You become so compassionate. top on it, when you practice wisdom, you're going to realize emptiness. It can eliminate the ignorance. But in order to continuously practice the wisdom bodhicitta, in order to become in order to become more powerful, the bodhicitta and wisdom become more powerful, then we need to practice the sixth perfection, ethical discipline. Without ethical discipline, bodhicitta cannot be enhanced. Without ethical discipline, the wisdom also cannot be enhanced, cannot be fully developed, because ethical discipline is like a foundation for our practice. Remember the will of Dharma. I'm not saying the will of life, the will of Dharma, because the Dharma will is very important symbol in Buddhism. It has a three path: the center, then the spokes, then the ring. Ring. Without the center point, how the spoke can attach? Therefore, the center is symbolized the ethical discipline. Without spokes, all the spokes, 8 or 12, 100 spokes, how the will can, move continuously to the next place? Cannot. Therefore, the wisdoms, realizing emptiness, meditating impermanence, generating renunciations, those are like the spokes on the wheel. This is the kind of wisdom. Then, yes, there's a spot, there's a center point, there's a 8 or 10 or 100 spokes. Without the ring, also the wheel cannot be fully used. Therefore, we need mindfulness, or we need awareness, we need meditation, ethical discipline, right? Second, why we need to practice the joy effort, or you can say the enthusiasm. This one, we don't need a lot of explanation why we need a joy effort. Based on our daily experience, when we do meditation, when we do recitation, when we do any kind of practice, we cannot continuously practice them because we don't have a joy effort. Even though simple your daily job, when you do the job, you feel so difficult because you don't have a good effort. Therefore, in order to practice bodhicitta wisdom continuously, we need a ethical discipline as a foundation. We need a joy effort as a kind of primary or secondary course to continuously practice dharma or bodhicitta. Without having the joy effort, we are always controlled by laziness. Therefore, we need to practice joy effort. Then why we need to practice patience, the perfection of patience. Also, we no need a lot of explanation. Based on our daily life, so many problems we have. The normal life, when we do the normal things, all the problems will come in our life because of the anger or because of the hatred. They are so powerful because we don't have a patience. We are not able to practice patience. Therefore, in order to practice the Dharma continuously, in order to keep the positive uh, energy continuously, we need to practice patience. Then next is the concentration or meditation. Also in our daily life, so we've been a Buddhist for at least like 15 to 20 years. At least maybe you are Buddhist for 15 years. For the 15 years, we all study Buddhism. We've been attending many Dharma classes. We receive a lot of teaching and initiation. But when you analyze your your experience of Dharma, still zero. Still zero because we don't have the good knowledge about meditation. Without meditation, you cannot, really develop bodhicitta and wisdom. Therefore, we need, good meditation. We need the complete kind of package of meditation, not missing the alertness, nor missing the mindfulness. Then the last is the wisdom. Right? So we need to practice the six perfection based on bodhicitta and wisdom. So what I'm trying to say you, there's nothing wrong to say, wrong to think, I want to be a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. These are very easy to think, very easy to say, but not easy at all achieving Buddhahood to be Buddha. It is very easy to say, very easy to think I can benefit all sentient beings, but not easy because we have a two strong or powerful enemies, which is ignorance and anger or hatred. So now, let's say I just imagine all of you really understood all the benefits of practicing bodhicitta. Also, I just imagine, I can guess, all of you really understood. In order to practice bodhicitta, we always need to do the purification, purifying the negative karma. Not only purification, also you fully understood, I need to accumulate lots of merit. Accumulating a lot of merit, it not depends on timing, it not depends on your how much you spend your money and time and energy. It very much depend on your motivation. Please make sure when you do prayer or chanting, offering light and flower, or food and clothes and generosity, whatever you do, make sure you must have a pure motivation. You should not do all this practice as a competition. This day, yes, all of you can see, I also can see there are so many Buddhist center or temple. They're doing all the kind of Buddhist ceremony as a competition. Or this center have done this kind of retreat, we must do. This center have done this kind of big puja, we must do. We are all the Buddhist center, not the competition center. Please make sure whatever you do from your heart. Make sure everything must be done with the pure motivation. The motivation must be very pure as a diamond. Right? So accumulating merit. Also, I can imagine all of you fully understood after you accepted the bodhicitta, particularly you already has taken the Bodhisattva vows. Make sure you never ever let them decline. If you decline, if you destroy the Bodhisattva vows, you can retake again and again, again and again, again and again. We must take again and again. When you decline, when you destroy your bodhicitta, is a kind of big problem. So how we continuously, practice bodhicitta, how we continuously uh, keep the Bodhisattva vows. Then the next chapter comes conscientiousness, introspection. Always watch what you think. Always watch what are you doing. Don't watch other. We are very happy always watching other. Woke up early morning, open window, you are looking your neighbor, what they are doing. Right? It's not really business. No. Therefore, you watch yourself, watch your mind. Make sure your mind always be positive. Make sure your mind is not controlled by anger. Make sure you don't have anger. When you have anger, when you're angry with your food or your clothes, your house, the weather is still okay. It's not that dangerous. When you are angry with someone, even though your families, it destroys your bodhicitta. Make sure you always need to control your anger. Therefore, you need a very powerful introspection. Yes, then I can imagine, yes, you will fully understood. I always need to control, watch or control my mind. The next, alertness. Remember, without guarding the mind, you cannot guide your precept or your vows. You cannot practice anything without guarding your mind. Like you are putting your draining water in pipe. You want to send a lot of water through your pipe, but the beginning or the pipe is blocked, fully blocked. How you can drain your water through a pipe? Cannot. Therefore, as a beginning of your practice, guide your mind. Guide your mind. Make sure guide your mind. So the next chapter is chapter about patience. Most difficult, also very important. Before we open the books, I always believe also you can do some research, some study yourself. You can do some research and some study for others. We should not mix up. We should not think anger and the short temper is same. I don't think so. Short temper and anger. You need to study carefully what is the differences between short temper, lost temper, and get angry. What do you think? These are same or different? Short temper, anger is same or different? In a way same, in a way different. It's kind of mix up. It's kind of not easy to distinguish. This one you distinguish when you analyze yourself. For example, usually most of you take breakfast maybe like at 7:30 or 7, right? Maybe 8. So one day the breakfast, is not ready around 8. It's 8:10, 8:15. How do you feel? You feel little bit, getting anger, right? Then somehow you don't have a breakfast at all that day, then you feel really, you are getting angry. No, that time you're losing your temper because you cannot control the wind energy. The wind energy. Anger is very different than the losing your temper or short temper. Somebody, due to their Buddhist nature, the person is always kind of short temper, very easy to lose the temper, very easy to get angry. Yeah, therefore these two are. Yeah, you can come on here. Yes, these two are very. Yeah, please come up, come up. Just feel free. Sit anywhere. Therefore, what I'm trying to say you, the short temper and anger are very, very much different. These are not same at all. So, for example, an example, easy example, this day, the mobile phone is very important. We need it every moment. Contact with someone, texting someone, everything is, in your mobile phone. So sometimes you totally forgot where you keep it. You are, opening your bags, you are opening everywhere. You cannot find the mobile. Then you look like you are getting angry. No, that time you are losing your temper. You are losing your kind of patience. This is not anger. Therefore, this chapter that the patience is very important. Somehow, whether you are a believer or non-believer, whether you are young, very old, or medium age, we need to practice patience. If we are able to practice patience, the first benefit we can have a kind of happy and peaceful life. Forget about your next life, forget about the Buddhahood. We can have a very smooth and peaceful and happy life. Therefore, we need to learn how to practice patience. Second, everybody, for example, every morning when I sit behind or DBC, I can sit around the gyms area. Every morning, 6, 7, 10 people just running here and there, running here and there, bringing, carry, very heavy kind of things. Why they have to do this thing? Because they want to have a healthy life. They want to have a healthy body. And also when we order food and drink, right, when we buy things from the supermarket, everybody very carefully check about the product, the manufacturer date, expiry date, what thing inside here. Actually, when we go through the the list of ingredients, they tells us only maybe 10%. 10% totally is hidden. But still, we are checking because we care our health. So if you are always be patient, if you always able to control your temper, particularly anger and hatred, there's no doubt you can have a healthy life, healthy family, healthy body, also you can have a healthy relationship with anybody, with your families, with your friends, your neighbors. We also have a serious problem in our life because the relationship between you and others, no matter who is other, your friends, your boss, your neighbors, your families, your husband, your wife, your children, no matter. Many problems we have because our relationship between someone is become very unhealthy in a way because of the anger and hatred. Correct? Then how we have all these negative thoughts? Why we have ignorance? Why we have anger and hatred? Why we have a jealousy? Why we have a ego? Who taught us anger? No, it comes with us. When we were born with the ignorance, we were born with the anger, hatred, etc. All the negative thoughts. We born with all the negative thoughts. But since we are getting older, when we are getting slowly mature, but we collect so many other kind of primary condition to increase, to more develop the negative thoughts. All the thoughts with us, we born with us. Then at the beginning I said there's nothing wrong wish to be Buddha. Yes, we can be Buddha. One, I told you, we have the Buddha nature. We already have the right, the correct methods for achieving Buddhahood to be Buddhahood. Second reason why, can we Buddha or not? Yes, the answer is always yes. You can be Buddha. Everybody can achieve Buddhahood because the negative thoughts we have, the ignorance, the attachment, the anger, everything is kind of, for with us, is with us all the time, but those are not the real, our mental nature. For example, usually what Buddha said, when you, like the gold, when you mix with the iron or brass mixed together, yeah, you cannot see. For you look like it is impossible, make a separate the gold and the iron or brass. But these are together, totally mix up together. But through your knowledge, through your own experience, you can separate the gold and iron, the gold and brass. You can separate. But the gold and the iron nature is very different. For example, you can see when you meet someone, you don't know each other. Then you know each other gradually, then you become friend. No anger each other. There's no anger. Then one day, after a few months or few days, then the anger comes. That means the anger at the beginning, you don't have anger towards the particular person. The anger comes after a while. When the anger becomes so powerful, you are very, very angry with the person. But when you use certain reason, certain logics, then also you can see the anger has changed. Slowly, the anger is be reduced. And then look like you don't have any more anger to the person. That means you can see the person, the anger can be changed. Ego can be changed. Ignorance can be changed. Likewise, love and compassion also can be changed. But the positive thoughts we have is at a solid foundation. Clear? The positive thought, love and compassion, bodhicitta, they have a very solid foundation. The foundation is very stable. Anger, hate, ego has a foundation. The foundation is not that solid. Like for example, attachment, right? For example, attachment. How attachment arises? How? For the food, for drink, for person. Think about how attachment arises. Errors must be, those are must errors based on certain basis. For example, you very much like, particular food, particular restaurant, you have an attachment to the food. How the attachment arises? For you, the food is one of the best food. This restaurant is one of the best restaurant. You like it. You have an attachment. This same attachment you can keep for whole life. The same attachment can you keep in your mind whole life? Cannot. Right? Yes, you are very much like the food for a few weeks. Slowly you don't like the food. Then the attachment has gone to the food. Because the attachment you have for the food based on the very unsolid foundation. Therefore, this is the logic why we can be Buddha, because all the positive thoughts has a very solid foundation. All the negative thoughts are foundation, the foundation is very soft, very temporal. Right? Therefore, today we could study about how to practice patience, how the anger is bad. Okay, please open the chapter, the patience chapter, Zupa. First, we read a few verses, then we, discuss or I explain it. First, we read stanza number 1 through 5. Stanza number 1. Whatever wholesome deeds, such as warranting Buddha and generosity, that have been amassed over the 1,000 eons, will all be destroyed in one moment of anger. There is no transgression like hatred, no fortitude like patience. Thus I shall strive in various ways to meditate on patience. My mind will not experience peace if it fosters painful thoughts of hatred. I shall find no joy or happiness. Unable to sleep, I shall feel unstill. As a master who has hated, it is danger for being killed, even by those who, for their well and happiness, depend upon the master's kindness. By it, friends and relatives are deserted. Through doing or by generosity, they will not trust me. In brief, there is nobody who lives happily with anger. Okay, so simple thoughts you must have every day. Very simple thoughts. You always think anger is very bad. One of the worst negative thoughts. When you fully, truly believe anger is very bad, one of the most powerful enemy in my life, when you feel anger is arising, immediately you can control. First, you have to believe anger is very bad. So why anger is very bad? There's a two, kind of consequence. One we can see, one we cannot see. The consequence of anger. Therefore, stanza number 1 is kind of, is explain the consequence of anger. Whatever wholesome deeds. such as a warranting Buddha and generosity, that have been amassed to over 1,000 eons, will all be destroyed in one moment of anger. It's explained the anger can destroy the important thing which we cannot see. But when you get angry for 10 minutes, that moment, nobody can see the anger destroyed your positive, karma. But is destroy the, positive karma, such as warranting Buddhas and generosity. There have been amassed over thousands of eons, will all be destroyed in one moment of anger. Right? Accumulating merit is not easy. We have to put a lot of effort, a lot of practice. Somehow, due to your effort, due to your understanding, you have accumulated big amount of merit. The next moment, anger arises. Short moment can destroy everything. Also, you can say whatever wholesome deeds. Also, you can say whatever good relationship you have with someone, it can be destroyed with the one moment, right? One moment. Therefore, someone become friend with us for a few weeks, they're no more friends. Someone with you, good friend for like 5 years, then the person became your enemy because of the anger, because of the misunderstanding. Most of anger we have is misunderstanding. There's no transgression like a hatred. Now, anger and hatred is different, and no fortitude like a patience. Thus, I should strive in the various way to meditate on patience. When you have a jealousy, still you look okay. When you have a ego, you still look okay. Right? When you have an attachment someone or something, still your life is quite okay. When anger arises, when you have always have a strong anger and hatred, yes, you can feel my life is very misery. My life is very difficult. When you have a ego, you still okay, right? You feel still okay. That means there's no such as transgression like a hatred. Hatred. Therefore, this day, who who commits suicide, or immature person who commits suicide, we can understand. For them, somebody do this thing as a fun. Somebody think, well, it's very easy to end the suffering. Suffering. But the mature people, like like 25, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, who commit suicide because of a person mind and brain is full of hatred. The person cannot feel happiness. The person cannot feel peace. For him or her, everything is negative. The environment, the people who live around you, everything is negative. For him or her, the person cannot see any positivity. Only one thing can see, and the life, because of the hatred. And no fortitude like a patience. Again, now you can see patience is how much it is important. For example, you want to cook a good breakfast, right? For example, you want to make a good breakfast. tasty breakfast. You need what you need? Patience. Be patient. You watch carefully what you are cooking. Otherwise, you want to cook breakfast, right? Breakfast, you don't have a patience. You want to play your phone, then you burn your breakfast. So be patient when you cook a food. Be patient when you practice Dharma. Be patient if you want to keep the relationship in healthy. Be patient, very important. I give you a simple, funny example happened for me yesterday evening. It's very simple or funny. I was going my evening walking. I remember I need to top up my phone. So I went to the shop. Simply say, can you top about $35 for 3 months? Top up $35. He said okay. He just top up $35. Then I asked, where's the QR code? He said, don't have QR code. Can it your pay number, pay now number? No, you must pay cash. Suddenly I get so angry. I thought, how come these days people don't want to carry cash, only card and this thing, right? Short term, get very angry. Then I remember, oh, in a way it's a misunderstanding because he thought I will pay in cash. I thought I can pay by phone. Misunderstanding there. Number one. Number two, immediately I thought, oh, he must have some reason to collect cash. Then immediately I able to control my anger, also you can able to control my short temper. I control there. Somehow he gave me his QR code. I paid. Then I continuous walking. In between, then I feel so happy because I realized I able to control my anger right there. If I could not control my anger and me and him be going to have a lot of argument, then what happened? Then the consequences can be serious. Therefore, I feel so happy. I think I able to control my anger right there. Therefore, you also, when you remember, you feel anger is coming, anger is pushing you to fight, anger is pushing you to have argument with anybody. Control anger. When you're not able to control anger, then hatred will come. Anger and hatred is very different. Anger is kind of strong emotion, dislike emotion. The hatred is a kind of imprint of anger. When you are very angry with someone for 1 hour, very angry, right? The anger has gone. But in your mind, you still have the hatred. Even though you can see the person, you cannot see the person, you still hold the hatred. So anger is kind of very strong emotion, dislike emotion. Then dislike emotion leave you very powerful kind of imprint in your mind. Kind of imprint, very hidden minds to hate someone. So that's the number two. What do you think? Anger is one of the the bad negative thoughts I need to control. Passion is one of the best mind I need to practice every day. That's the number three. My mind will not experience now. The third and fourth and is mainly explaining the consequence of which is we can see, which is we can experience it. Right? So destroying the positive thoughts, these are we cannot see it. But my mind will not experience peace if it foster painful thoughts of hatred. I shall find no joy or happiness. Unable to sleep, I shall feel unsettled. Now these are, we can experience, we can see it. Someone is so, angry with someone, the person keep hatred in their mind. The person never feel, never experience the peace. If it fosters painful thoughts of hatred, that means, so when you are very angry, of course everybody get angry, When you get angry, yes, that moment you become so kind of unhappy. That moment, yes, due to the anger, you have an argument, you have a verbally fighting, you have used all the bad wood, you throw all the bad wood on someone. But after a short while, you must think it wasn't good. You should not, create hatred. For example, remember, it's very common everywhere, right? For example, there's a guide or policeman is somewhere in the next to the gate. You're not supposed to enter in the gate, right? Somehow you thought I can go in. You try to enter in the gate. What the guide going to say? No, you should not. You cannot, right? That time, the guide used kind of little bit harsh word to you. Then you left from the gate. The guide never have a sense of hatred. That means when you have an argument with someone, just finish your argument, realize it is no good. Should not create sense of hatred, please. You should not generate or create sense of hatred. When you generate a sense of hatred, this always stay there. Therefore, you can see so many of our friends keep repeating what happened in the past. Keep repeating in the past in front of me. I can see the person have a very accumulated lot of hatred with the family, with the husband, with the children, with the neighbor. Even though someone passed away, right, a few years ago, the hatred is still there. The person died. The body become, like a ashes. But your anger is still alive. Whom you really anger now? The picture is a picture. He's not real person. So simple what I'm saying. First we always try to stop having argument, verbally fighting. Worstly, shouldn't have a physical fighting. Of course, if you have physical fighting, you put in the jail, right? You have to go in jail. Somehow you have this kind of argument, finish the argument, over the argument, realize it wasn't good, should not accumulate, sense of hatred. When you create sense of hatred, when you are foster very painful thoughts of hatred, I shall find no joy or happiness. Unable to sleep, I shall feel unsettled. So if I ask you one question for everybody, what is the purpose of our life? What is our purpose of life? So what may I know your name? Excuse me, your name? Do you know what is the purpose of your life? No, right? Simple, you can say, everybody say, what is our purpose of life? Happiness. Happiness. You can say everybody, even though in a simple, like the muscular, they're searching happiness. They're looking at food, come out, then salt or blood, because of they're also searching happiness. Everybody searching happiness. If you want happiness, you always want to be happy. should not foster the hatred. Forget about your Buddhist or non-Buddhist. Should not create hatred. When you foster hatred, there's no happiness. There's no happiness means what? If there is no such happiness in your life, then what is the point to be survived? Right? Really think, there's no such as happiness. Doesn't mean you don't have a meaning of life. It doesn't mean you must commit suicide. No, you must realize happiness is my purpose of my life. I always want to be happy. I need more happiness. Happiness. The happiness comes from many different ways, right? Through food and drink and exercise or watching movie and listening music. There's so many things you can achieve happiness. Correct? For example, you are not happy, you listen music, you feel happy. When you're not so happy, you just do some exercise. You just chit chat with your friends, you feel happy. But those happiness is not the kind of lasting happiness. It comes and goes, come and goes. Therefore, what we have to do, control the cause of unhappiness, which is anger, hatred, jealousy, ego, ignorance, misunderstanding. Those are the main cause to have a unhappiness. Clear? Therefore, should not foster the hatred, fortitude or like patience. I should strive in various ways to meditate on patience. My mind will not experience peace if it fosters painful thoughts of hatred. I shall find no joy and happiness, unable to sleep. I shall feel unsettled, right? It's very true. We can see, we can feel. You can see when your friend is very angry, your friend cannot sleep. The person's mind is everywhere. The mind cannot fully settle. Now, number 4. The master who has hatred in its danger for being killed, even by those who, for their wealth and happiness, depend upon the master's kindness. Is also we can see. Everybody have an experience. You share your wealth with someone, you share your happiness with someone, you try your best for someone, but the person is always try to harm you, right? Try to harm you. Like say your neighbors. You want to be, good neighbor with your neighbors. Someday you share your gift and food and drink to them, but instead of they helping you and supporting you, gradually they try to harm you because of anger or hatred. Again, misunderstanding. The misunderstanding is a very common kind of cause to create problems. You have a good heart, right? Your neighbor has some problem. You knock the door. You ask, "Do you need any help? Do you need something from us?" Then the neighbor thought, "Oh, this person does not much. The person doesn't know much. I can take advantage." Then they say, "Yes, yes. I need to pay my water bills. I need to pay electricity bill. I don't have I'm shortage $20, right?" Then you offer $20. After a month, next month, he knock your door. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to pay my bills. I need to pay medical bills. I'm shorted $100. Can you give me or can you borrow me?" There you have a good heart. You give $100 or somehow you borrow, right? Lend or borrow. You lend it $100. After a few months, they ask you $200. Then now you can imagine the situation. The person asking $2. You are not ready to give out $2. Then what happened? You get angry. Then you lose your temper. Then the neighbor keep thinking, I can take advantage. Then maybe they have a physically fighting, argument, fighting. Then since you and your neighbor become enemy, then your enemy always looking a chance to harm you, kill you, because of anger and hatred. Now you can see, it is good to be practice generosity. You must practice generosity with the wisdom. It's very common misunderstanding. Particularly, it's very obviously, particularly you can see someone is very nice, very humble, very peaceful, always smile, hello, good morning, blah, blah, blah. That person have a misunderstanding. Correct? So you have to be very careful when you practice Dharma. Then number 5, by it, friend and relative are disheartened. Though drawn by my generosity, they will not trust me. In brief, there is nobody who lives happily with anger. Right? When you are a very angry person, and you are a very angry mother, you are a very angry boss, then slowly you can see, your worker doesn't like you. Your relatives doesn't like you. Even though, you are a very angry person, somebody give you food and drink, you are not happy. Also, nobody trusts you. In brief, there's nobody who live happily with the anger. But even the human being, of course, even though simple animal cannot live with happily with the anger. Therefore, anger is a very powerful negative thoughts. We must destroy. We must control. This is the number 5. Now we chant the number 6, only 6. Hence, this enemy, anger, creates suffering such as this. But however, associately overcome it. When happiness, and now this kind of, the conclusion advice. Simply what Chandrasekhar was saying, the anger always brings negative consequences. Some negative consequences we can see, we can experience it. Also, there are so many negative consequences we cannot see, we cannot feel, but the negative consequences there. Therefore, hence the enemy. Who is the enemy? Anger. Creates suffering such as this. But whoever assiduously overcome it find happiness now and hereafter, here and after, right? Therefore, we should not generate anger, because anger is our enemy. It can destroy our happiness and peace, also destroy all the positive karma and merit. We must practice patience, because if we are able to overcome the anger, then what happens? We find happiness. Not only this life, next life also we can find happiness. So next one, number 7. Having found it full of mental unhappiness in the possession of what I wish for, in doing what I do now want, hatred increase and then destroy me. This also kind of conclusion. So we draw it, can't you didn't it? Yeah, having found is full of mental unhappiness in the prevention of what I wish for, and in doing what I do not want. Hatred increased and then destroyed me. So now this is telling, asking us question, why and how anger actually arises. Doing what I do not want. Hatred increased, then destroyed me. Usually how anger really increase or arise. How anger increase, how anger arise. Why you get angry with someone or something. How? For example, you don't want something, the things come to your life, then you get angry. You don't want, the things come to your life. You don't want to hear, you hear the things, then you get angry. Or you want something, a thing doesn't come to your life, then you get angry. This is teaching that anger is arising based on attachment. Even though you don't want something, when you have a sense of attachment which you don't want. You not wanting is kind of attachment. Do you want a hot weather? No. You don't want hot weather. Also, you have a sense of attachment, not wanting hot weather. When the weather becomes so hot, then what happens? Again, you get angry. That's why anger or angry, hatred arise with us because we don't want, but things come to our life. We want something, it never come into our life. Therefore, we get angry. It's checking the cause of anger or hatred. Then what happened at the end? Hatred increased and then destroyed me. Right? First should not create hatred. But the hatred increase, it becomes very powerful, then it can destroy everything. Everything. For example, this day, hundreds of people, uh, dying in a way because of hatred. In a similar way, very simple way, like a family level, if the father is a very angry father, then what happened? Argue with the mother. Then father argue with the children, if they have a children. At the end, you can see, this day, uh, one person usually, killed whole family because of anger. So anger, hatred can destroy everything. Therefore, it is so important to control your anger and your hatred. It's checking what the cause. Now, sentence number 8. Therefore, is it? I should totally eradicate the fools of the enemy. For this enemy has no other function than of the causing me harm. Now, therefore, I should totally eradicate the fuel of this enemy. Enemy is what? The anger. Now, this is saying, therefore, I should totally eradicate the fuel of this enemy. Enemy refer to the anger or hatred. The fuel refer to what? Refer to what? Fuel. Hmm? Yeah, impatient, or you can say dislike. Dislike. something come to your life, you don't want, but things come to your life, come to you in daily life, suddenly you dislike, you don't like. Right? First, you don't like. If us, for example, all of you don't like durian, then first I say, oh, today I have a durian for lunch. How do you feel? You already don't like it. When you hear the voice, I have a durian for lunch, you already don't like it. Then I ask you to test it. Then you sense of dislike, you don't like. That is a foundation, right? Don't like, you don't like. Sense of dislike is a foundation. Then I force you to eat the durian. Then what happened? Get angry. That get angry so strongly, you become very angry. Still, I force you to eat the durian continuously. Then what happened? You really hate me, right? Hate me. Now you can see the fuel is dislike. So normally we should not say, oh, I like very much. I really don't like. We should not say this thing too much. If you really don't like, you say, oh, it's okay. When you have a really strong sense of like, sense of dislike, then very easy to get or generate anger. The fuel is dislike is a fuel, then enemy anger is arise or generate. Then what is the function of the enemy? What the function of anger? For this enemy has no other function than that of causing me harm. Right? Anger has only one function, which is harm you. Directly harm you, immediately harm you, then indirectly harm others. Right? Harm others. For example, let's say in the morning, you are very happy, very peaceful. Somehow somebody make you very angry. Then immediately the angry harm you. They destroy your peaceful, destroy your enemy. Sorry, destroy your happiness. Immediately they destroy your happiness. But you haven't controlled the anger. You go with the anger to your office, your workplace. Then what happened? Somebody says, hello, good morning, how are you? So your action is, even though you can say, somebody say, hey, good morning, you say, good morning. Mean this kind of action also gradually destroy other happiness. Right? Happiness. Still, you don't control your anger. You are so angry. So you are in the office, your mind is there. In the morning, what happened for you? Then you order or somebody order you very nice lunch. Very nice, which is usually the person like it. You order the nice lunch. Do you think the person is very happy eating the lunch? No. Look at now, due to anger, when the person go to office or job place, meet friend, all of them become look like the person enemy. The good food also become their enemy. Right? Therefore, you can say the anger has only one function, which is destroy me, destroy my life. This is the therefore it's kind of advice. Therefore, I should totally eradicate the fuel of this enemy, for this enemy has no other function than that of causing me harm. Please read number 9. Whatever befall me, I shall not destroy my mental joy. For having been made unhappy, I shall not accomplish what I wish. My virtues will decline. This is number 9. So whatever befall me, I shall not destroy my mental joy. Now what you have to think, whatever happened in my life, I don't let anger increase. I don't let hatred arise, because I don't want to disturb my mental joy, mental happiness. Because there's a two types of happiness. One is the external happiness, right? External happiness. For example, when you're going for holiday, usually we choose to go to your favorite place. There's no such as say this place is the favorite place. There's no such as. But for you, you choose, oh, this place is my favorite place. I want to go. So this is the external kind of happiness. When you go around, you feel happiness. The happiness only come from the external condition, the food, the land, the people, the environment. Then there's another happiness, what we call the mental joy, mental happiness, is mainly come to the mental transformation. Even though you don't have a big house, you don't have an expensive car, you don't have a big saving, you don't have a expensive clothes and jewelry, you just have a simple clothes which cover your body. You have a simple food which is you can fill your stomach. Everything is very simple, but you able to transform your mind. You're able to control your negative thoughts. That moment you have another type of happiness. But this happiness can be destroyed by the anger too. So for having been made unhappy, I shall not accomplish what I wish, and my virtues will decline. Even though I don't like, it doesn't mean I can make my happiness. Also, if I'm not happy, I get angry, it can destroy my virtues will decline. This is number 10. Cannot be remedied, right? So now is another kind of conclusion about how to control our anger, how to control our hatred. Why be unhappy about something if I can be remedied? And what is the use for being unhappy about something if I cannot be remedied? Right? So these are very uh, useful. Of course, all the words are very useful. It's very very particular. Useful. You can get the immediate benefits. Immediate benefits. Now you are very angry with someone. The person is very powerful, very rich. He has a lot of kind of friends. You are alone, right? You become enemy with a very rich family. The rich family have everything, have a lot of power, have a lot of friends. So you really cannot compete the rich family. Somehow you are not happy with the person. So you continuously want to be unhappy, or you want to, stop the unhappiness. What do you want to do? Remember the for example, you are become enemy with one of the powerful person in Singapore. Rich, very powerful, have all the power. You are only one. You become enemy with the person. So that time you feel you are very unhappy, right? Then moment, there you have only two choices. One, once you want to be continuously unhappy, or you want to stop being unhappiness. You have a two choice. What do you want to do? First, stop. Because you think here, why be unhappy about something if I can be? So next one. And what is the use of being unhappy about something if I cannot be remedied? We cannot do much. You cannot do much. You are only one person. You are a very simple person. You cannot compete with them. So you just think, forget about the person. Simple as say, I cannot do anything. Just forget about the person. Delete, about the thought about the person. There's no any kind of methods, no remedy. The second, let's say you are very unhappy because you got some serious illness. The doctor say, oh, your illness, your sickness is very serious. Suddenly, then what happened? You feel very upset. You feel very unhappy. Then you ask one question to doctor, it is curable or not? The doctor say yes. If you take this medicine for 4 months, it can be cured. Then what happened? You feel so relieved because there are some methods. There's a remedy. You should not be unhappy. You use the remedy, try to overcome the problems. So please memorize this. Stanza number 10. Can read one more. Why be unhappy about something it can be remedied? And what is the use for being unhappy about something cannot be remedied? So you always remember these words. For example, His Holiness Dalai Lama, right, when he escaped from Tibet, even though in his life, when he has a sudden, serious problem, difficulties, he always recite these verses. You also, when you have a serious problems, serious difficulties, you must recite these verses. Again, you got a serious illness, first cancer. Then how do you feel? You feel very upset. You feel so disappointment. So you want to live this kind of, unhappy life, or you want to be, you want to have a happy life. Of course, I want happy life. That moment you must remember these verses. Yes, I have a serious cancer, which is the fourth stage. It cannot be cured, but it doesn't mean it is end of life. There's no such as medication, it can be cured. I can live another few months or few years instead of, always be unhappy. Just, enjoy whatever time you have. Correct? But we cannot do this. When you have a serious problem, you cannot think this way. You're always going around searching so many things. But at the end, every solution give you answer. Say, no, 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 no. Remember these verses. Now, stanza number 11. For myself and for my friends, I want no suffering, no respect, no harsh words, nothing unpleasant, but for me, enemy is opposite. Is again, analyzing the cause of anger and hatred. What are the cause and condition of arousing anger? For myself and for my friends. Remember the 8 worldly consents. So what are the 8 worldly consents? When you are when you're getting something, you are happy. You are not getting something, you are unhappy. Then you always want to hearing, the pleasant things. When you are happy. When you are not hearing all the pleasant thing, you become very unhappy. When you lose, you are unhappy. When you win, you are very happy. Look at our life is, always going through this thing. When you receive big things, you have an expectation to receive, such as good thing. When you receive it, you are very, very happy. You are jumping in everywhere. You have expectation to receiving something. When you haven't received it, what happened? You become very disappointment. You become very unhappy. You always have a kind of expectation. In a way, expectation. Everybody must praise me. Wow, you are a very good person. You are a very talented person. You are such and such, right? If nobody say you what happened, then again you will be upset. All our life is going through going through the eight worldly concerns. Therefore, myself and for my friends, I want no suffering, no disrespect, no harsh word, nothing unpleasant. But for my enemy, it is the opposite, right? So I don't want suffering. I don't want disrespect. I don't want harsh word. I don't want unpleasant. I always want happiness. I always want respect. I always want, the soft, nice words. I always want, pleasant. But enemy is opposite mean what? We always wish enemy have a lot of suffering. We always wish enemy have always disrespect, harsh word, unpleasant. But for my enemy, it is opposite. Correct? That means now you can see the what you think yourself, what you think about your enemy. Again, the way of thinking is okay. There's nothing wrong. You always think, I, I, I want no suffering. In samsara, in this world, can you live without suffering? Can you live no suffering? Cannot. 100% sure. We have to go through a lot of suffering. We should not expect my life is totally free from suffering. Cannot. Like you are swimming in the ocean. You always wish my body be dry. Cannot. Then, do you think you always, be respected by other? No. Again, respect is another kind of, expectation people have. People, particularly, the, Sangha or Rinpoche, Lama, or who have a little bit name in the society, always think people must respect me. They don't want disrespect. Same, you also as an ordinary person, but you have a kind of attachment. You always wish people respect you. Do you think people always respect you? No. Respect, disrespect, suffering, happiness always together with us. Again, no harsh words. Cannot. Because there are so many people whom you like. Again, there are some more and more people who don't like you. They will throw the harsh word on you. Nothing unpleasant. Again, we cannot live without unpleasant. Right? Pleasant, unpleasant, suffering and happiness. Respect, disrespect is always there. Therefore, somebody give you disrespect, should not get upset. When suffering come in your life, you should not feel upset. If somebody use a harsh word, should not get angry. Something when you see unpleasant thing, you should not get angry. Nothing, I'm in samsara, right? I'm in samsara. Respect, disrespect, suffering, happiness, pleasant, unpleasant. In a nice word, harsh word is always be there. There's no point to be destroyed my happiness. But we are very different. We always want happiness. It is impractical, right? Impractical. So what I'm saying here, then, but oh my enemy, it is opposite. Number 12. Please read. Yeah. The cause of happiness sometimes occur. Sometimes occur. Sometimes occur is very good, right? For look like the cause of happiness never occur in our life, right? Look like we don't have a really cause of happiness, but we always, in suffering. No, the cause of happiness sometimes occur, but the cause of suffering are frequent. Without suffering, there's no renunciation. Therefore, mind, you should stay firm. Yes, if you just, analyze for 1 hour, since today, tomorrow or day after one day, you just analyze for only 1 hour. You use on the stopwatch, you check, you check how many cause of happiness occur you, how many cause of suffering occur you within 1 hour. Check. Maybe 1 hour you cannot find any cause of happiness occur you. Maybe for 1 hour you can only feel occurring only the cause of happiness. You analyze. When you analyze, you're going to see the cause of happiness is very little. The cause of suffering is a lot. Therefore, we have a more suffering than the happiness. When you feel there's a lot of suffering, you have all kinds of problem, you should not think it's a very bad. You can think it's good. I can take the advantage of suffering and generate renunciation. Therefore, mind, you should stay firm, because without suffering, there's no renunciations. Without problem, you cannot be stronger. Okay, now it's the number. What here's 12 saying, generally we are in samsara, we have ignorance, we have anger, attachment, so and so. Therefore, the cause of happiness occur sometime. We have all the negative thoughts with us. The cause of suffering is frequent. Without suffering, there's no renunciation. When you have a suffering or problem, you should not feel discouraged. You think, I will take the advantage, this kind of suffering, I generate renunciation. Therefore, another way you can say, transforming the negativity into the path. When we have a lot of suffering, we should not think it's very bad. You should think it's a good chance me to generate renunciation. It is good opportunity me to transforming the positivity into the path. Number 13. Okay, number 13, right? It's very interesting. Is some secretaries and the people of Karnapa. Do you know what Karnapa is? It's a Karnataka. Right? All the monastery now is except in South India. Karnataka is one of the state name. So this one we can go in next class. So before ending our class, I will explain a little bit about each of the negative thoughts based on the priest to Aryatare. I forgot this one. So, what is ego or pride is look like? Pride and ego is negative thoughts. The pride or ego is like a lion in the forest. Lion in the forest, because the lion always feel I am the king of the forest. I can kill everybody except my family. Ego. So when you have a strong ego, ego can be any types. Everybody has an ego. Since you have an ego, you always think I am the superior than everybody. Then you have all kinds of negative action towards other. Therefore, ego or pride is like a lion in the forest. So what does the ignorance look like? Ignorance is look like, elephant, untamed elephant. Untamed, untamed elephant who drink the lot of alcohol. Means the elephant, the untamed elephant drink alcohol going around the village also can destroy everything. That means ignorance is like a untamed elephant. Black color means totally dullness. Very powerful. What is the anger and hatred look like? Anger and hatred look like big fire in the forest. Big fire in the forest. If there's a big fire in the forest, the fire can destroy all kinds of plantations. When the anger arises in our mind, all the positivity, peaceful, happiness can be destroyed. What is the jealousy look like? Jealousy. The jealousy look like a snake. The king cobra snake. How? So if somebody try to touch to the snake always try to bite things, right? Even though you use the stick, you touch the snake bite the woods, cannot really bear things. When you have a kind of jealousy, so you cannot bear people can be rich. When people getting rich, people getting more knowledge, you cannot bear it. Therefore, uh, the jealousy like a snake. What is the wrong view is look like? The wrong view is look like a thief. When you have a wrong view, right? Anyway, ignorance like an elephant. The ego is like a lion in the forest. Anger is like a fire in the big fire in the forest. Jealousy like a snake. Wrong view like the wrong view is like a